So today we will learn about silk and its production. Silk fibers are also animals' fiber obtained from the natural thread-like filaments spun by silkworm. So why does it popular so much? Because it is very costlier and very difficult to produce, and second is it conducts heat and are the good insulator which keep us warm in winter and cool in summer. So we will now see the life cycles of the silk moth. But before, we should know that the rearing means to breed and look after of silkworm for obtaining silk is called sericulture. So, sericulture is to look after the silkworm for obtaining silk. So, before that we will look after the diagram of a silk moth life cycle. Okay. So, there is a male and female, two moths of a silkworm. Okay. They are adults. When they mate, they lay eggs on the mulberry leaves, and from the eggs it develops silkworm. The silkworm are worm-like structures. So when the silkworm spun a cocoon around itself, it forms a pupa, and the pupa develops inside, and the covering of the silkworm is taken as the silk. So now we will look after how the process of life cycle of silkworm occurs. So life history of silkworm are as follows. The female silk moth lays eggs on the mulberry leaves, and the eggs hatches out as a larva called caterpillar or silkworm. So like the butterfly, they have caterpillar, so also this silk moth has also caterpillar. They are called silkworm. They grow in size and weave a net around itself made up of silk fiber, and we will read about how this silk fiber turn into a silk. Okay. Then when it form a cocoon around itself, it form a figure of 8. Okay. They form a figure of 8. This next stage of its life history is called pupa, and you all know if the butterfly spun a cocoon around itself, it is called pupa. So also like for the silk moth. The caterpillar secrete fiber made up of protein. Now we will see how this silkworm actually produce silk. The caterpillar secretes fiber made of a protein. Okay. So silk fiber is a protein which harden on exposure to air. When it is exposed to air, it becomes hard and become silk fiber. Now you get to know that when the caterpillar form a cocoon around itself, it produce a fiber made up of protein. And this protein, when it comes in contact with air, it becomes hardened, and this is the silk protein. So next, as soon as the caterpillar completely covers itself by silk fiber and turn into pupa, though you know all this that the covering is called cocoon. So further development of the pupa into the moth continue inside the cocoon, but before it hatches, before it develop and come out as a silkworm, they are being reared as a silkworm. So we can't say that they are naturally occurring. Always the silkworms and silk moth are basically depend on the culture made by human being. So silk fiber are used for weaving silk cloth. Okay. So nowadays there is no natural types of silk moth occur. They only depend when the human being want to develop or culture this type of moth for the silk. The silk yarn is obtained from the cocoon of the silkworm. This is the variety. There are different variety of silk moth which look very different from one another, and the silk yarn they yield is of different texture. Like texture what is called coarser, smoother, shinier, and so many types. So we will see some types of silk that different silk moth produce, that are tussar silk, moonga silk, kosa silk, and so many different types of silk which are popular. Because the moth which produce this type of silk fiber are of different types. Because the So silk, the most common type of silk moth is the mulberry silk moth. And the most common type of silk which we obtain from the silk is from only the mulberry silk moth. The silk fiber from the cocoon of this moth is very soft, lustrous and elastic and can be dyed in different colors. It is very white in color, so it can be dyed in different colors. Sericulture or culture of silkworm is a very old occupation in India also. From a long ago, we are just producing and we are cultivating the silkworm for the production of silk, which is first was only based on China, but now it is popular in all over the world and also most popular in the India also. First, so now here is the life history of a whole silk moth till it formed the cocoon. So female adult moth gives egg on the mulberry leaf, and when this egg hatches out into a larva, that is called caterpillar, or we call that as a silkworm. They feed on mulberry leaf for about 3 to 4 weeks. Each of them they spoon cocoon around itself. You will see in the larval stage, and the caterpillar changes into pupa inside the cocoon, and this cocoon is actually used to draw the fibers from the cocoon inside. Now we will see how this cocoon is reared to form a silk. So first is called rearing. Rearing, I have already told that it is to breed and to look after the silk, because we are obtaining the silk from the silkworm. So rearing, so we will see how this cocoon to silk is formed. First is the rearing, means to look and to breed, look after the silkworm and how they are breeded. Okay. So first is a female silk moth lays hundreds of eggs at a time. The eggs are stored carefully on strips of cloth or paper and sold to silkworm farmers. Then what the farmers do? The farmer keep eggs under hygiene condition, suitable condition, under suitable condition of temperature and humidity, so that eggs remain alive. The eggs are warmed to a suitable temperature for the larva to hatch from the egg. All you know, the eggs need a lot of temperature, a suitable temperature to hatch into a worm, into a baby. Okay, this is not done when mulberry leaf trees bear a fresh crop of leaves. So this type of culture is basically done when there is a season of mulberry leaf, when it is grown. Okay, now done when the larva which comes out, they increases in size by eating day and night. Okay, they feed on the leaves of a mulberry plant. The larva is kept in a clean bamboo tray along with freshly chopped mulberry leaves so that they will feed on them. After 25 to 30 days, the caterpillar stop eating and move to a tiny chamber of bamboo in the tray to spin cocoon. So after 25 to 30 days, they start forming a cocoon around itself. Small racks inside the bamboo trays. Okay, some corner of the bamboo trays. Small racks or twigs may be provided in the tray to which cocoon get attached. You know how the cocoon get attached to a stick or twig. So like that only the cocoon also stick to a twig. The caterpillar spun the cocoon inside which develop the silk moth. Also stick to. So this is the whole rearing silkworm flow. Okay. So first is the female silkworm lays eggs on the leaves of mulberry, and this larva when feed on the mulberry leaves and spun a cocoon around itself, and this is the cocoon from where we will get silk. Now we will see how this cocoon is processed to make a silk. A pile of cocoon is used for obtaining silk fiber. A cocoon is kept under the sun or boiled or exposed to steam. The cocoons are either they exposed to sun or they are boiled or exposed to steam. The silk fibers separate out when they become loose, and the silk farmers start reeling the silk around the reel. Okay, the reeling is done by special machine which unbind the thread or silk from the cocoon. The silk fiber are then spun into silk thread, which are woven into silk cloth by weavers. So they use a special machine for the reeling, which unfold the thread, and this silk form the silk thread, and this silk thread is used to make a silk cloth. And this health hazard in wool industry and sericulture. In the wool industry, the workers suffers from a fatal blood disease called anthrax or shorter disease caused by anthrax bacterium. So they are generally caused to the worker who short wools. Second is worker in the silk industry has to dip bare hand into the hot water to check thread of cocoon has loosened or not. Which it is very dangerous to dip the bare hand into the hot water. Third is the reel of the silk thread, who also require workers to stand for 12 to 17 hours in a day. The worker who stand by the machine to look after the reeling of the silk thread, they have to stand for 12 to 17 hours a day. Fourth is the silk workers also suffer from asthma and bronchitis because it is due to the steam or maybe exposure to some type of chemicals. From asthma